This is the evening news on Monday, October 27, 2014. I'm Michael Young. Thanks for joining us. Making the headlines tonight. SATAR accuses Glenn Lal of phone tapping. Woman tests negative for Ebola. House unlikely to meet until mid-November. And Nikita Barker crowned Miss Guyana Universe 2014. Now for the news in detail. Guyana Revenue Authority Commissioner General Khurshid Sattar believes that Kaicher News' publisher Glenn Lal is allegedly into phone tapping, as we hear in this report.
Lal has been constantly attacking Sattar ever since information was unveiled about him allegedly defrauding the state of millions of dollars by illegally importing 2 luxury vehicles under the remigrant scheme. The Guyana Revenue Authority head said his lawyer received a call on Sunday from a very close contact of Lal, who had also been caught up in the remigrant scam. Sattar said the contact informed his lawyer that Lal has a recording of a conversation he had with another individual. Sattar said while the time given when the conversation took place was not accurate, the individual he spoke to was correct. Sattar only recently had also accused Lal of hacking into GRA's accounts. He believes that based upon the revelation that the recording of his conversation was in the possession of Lal, it is an indication that the newspaper publisher is involved in extreme measures to get at him. Back in 2002, the Guyana Defense Force had seized a very sophisticated piece of equipment from convicted drug trafficker Sahid Rajakan, which was used to tap into mobile phones. A Guyana Defense Force patrol had seized one piece of the equipment, but it appeared that there had been more than one because another almost identical device was tendered in a New York courtroom during Khan's trial. Additionally, another businessman says that Lal is allegedly in the habit of tapping the cell phone calls of his staff members and of persons whom they are in contact with. Royden James, reporting for the Evening News.
Meanwhile, in responding to an article in the Kaicher News on Sunday under the headline, GRA boss imports Prado for $1.5 million, GRA's head Khurshid Sattar said the story contains obvious and grave misinformation.
In the article, Kaicher News mentioned the tax details of what Attorney General Anil Nandlal and Member of Parliament Kwame Gilbert paid on a similar vehicle to the one imported by Sattar, but with higher tax value. However, Sattar clarified that taxes on imports are applied on the basis of the cost, insurance and freight value. He said the customs value is determined by the acquisition cost and not what a comparison would look like with the similar vehicles months after. According to him, as such, the value of a vehicle acquired new from a showroom differs significantly in value from a vehicle that is used and has a significant amount of miles on the odometer, and even considerable less if acquired from a salvage formed with considerable damages. Sattar said it is not ideal to purchase a salvage vehicle with extensive damage, since serious mechanical and other problems develop from time to time and requires further investment in repairs and maintenance. The GRA head said his vehicle cannot be compared with a showroom vehicle acquired by the Honorable MP and Attorney General. According to him, the public must be very exhausted having to endure all of this nonsense emanating from the muckraking Kaicher News. Lal, whether out of ignorance or some unfathomable reason, has been very liberal in using his newspaper to attack the character of the Commissioner General. Royden James, reporting for the Evening News.
Parliament is not likely to meet before mid-November as there continues to be different interpretations about who is empowered via the standing orders to set a date for reconvening the work of the House. Details in this story.
2 main political parties have offered different reasons as to why they are unable to arrive at a mutually accepted date for the first parliamentary meeting since the recess period ended on October 10 this year. On the hand, the Partnership for National Unity is maintaining that the matter is out of its hands and there is little that it could do to force the government to set a date for an early sitting. Additionally, the Partnership for National Unity has been under immense pressure to support the Alliance for Change's no confidence motion, which could be given priority over all of the other parliamentary business when the House meets. In a consistent lukewarm response, a Partnership for National Unity's chairman, David Granger, is maintaining that his party will support the motion whenever it comes up. A high-ranking Partnership for National Unity official who begged to remain anonymous told this newscast on Friday that the Partnership for National Unity was not interested in dancing to the tune of the Alliance for Change. He said, being cognizant of the fact that the no confidence motion could come up first, the Partnership for National Unity was unwilling to have its priority matters abandoned because the Alliance for Change would get more credit and mileage out of the successful package of the motion. He explained that their Partnership for National Unity has just as much to lose as the ruling People's Progressive Party and would be tempted to bar any attempt by the Alliance for Change to hijack the parliamentary process in favor of its no-confidence motion, even though the opposition generally agrees that the PPP is bad for Guyana. Meanwhile, the People's Progressive Party is not likely to press the envelope to have an early sitting until several of its core executive legislators are back in the country and the discussions between President Donald Ramotar and opposition leader David Granger winds up. The party noted that Granger wants local government elections and several other actions to be taken, but is skeptical about making any deals with their Partnership for National Unity, which it does not trust. A senior political analyst told this newspaper, quote, "The PPP knows that the APNU would still support the motion after and cannot be trusted." Bisham Mohammed, Evening News.
Join us after these messages when the Evening News continues. Welcome back. You're tuned to the Evening News. President Donald Ramotar has congratulated Dilma Rousseff, who was recently re-elected to serve a second term as Brazil's president. He extended the congratulatory messages on behalf of the government and people of Guyana while reiterating the country's commitment towards working closely with the government of Brazil to further strengthen the ties of friendship and collaboration which happily exist between the two countries. A woman who was suspected to be Guyana's first case of Ebola has been tested negative for the deadly virus. More details in this story.
On October 24, rumors spread widely that Guyana had its first Ebola patient. Fortunately, it turned out not to be so. There is a sense of worry whether Guyana is truly ready to deal with a real Ebola case. Important questions are being asked and the Ministry of Health must provide comprehensive answers. The statement from the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation was timely and allayed the mounting fears. A private physician acted with urgency in alerting the institution, and President Donald Ramotar ensured that all necessary personnel and expertise were gathered to respond. The ministry and the Georgetown Public Hospital must meet with other experts for a forensic and clinical audit for the case to determine what improvements, if any, might be needed for future response. After the case was determined, the ministry failed to hold a full media briefing to inform and assure the nation of Guyana's readiness. Questions as to how the woman came back from a West African country and was never screened were not answered. The ministry also failed to convene a mandatory assessment of the overall response. For countries like Guyana, and given that the possibility of Ebola is a new experience, an audit of the response is vital. Overall, Guyana passed its first test that the 2014 Ebola outbreak is ranging on. Royden James, reporting for the Evening News.
Guyana Defense Force Major and Attorney at Law Michael Shadao was admitted to the bar on Friday. His successful petition was presented before Justice Brazenton Reynolds by Attorney at Law Andrew Pollard. The Major read for a pre-law program at the University of Guyana in 2008 and later received a military scholarship to pursue the Bachelor's of Law degree, gaining a distinction and the legal education certificate at the Hugh Wooden Law School. He was also awarded the Anne Blue Award for the most outstanding second-year student at the University of Guyana. In accepting the petition, Justice Reynolds stated that he was well aware of the character of the attorney and could personally concur with the statements contained in the petition. The Evening News continues after these messages. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Guyana's premier secondary institution, Queen's College, earlier today celebrated its 170th anniversary. Let's get more details from Alexis Rodney.
Past and current students of the institution gathered in the school's auditorium joining in the celebration, which was held under the theme 170 Years of Dynamic Influence. The audience, which included Prime Minister Samuel Hines, Head of State President Donald Ramotar, Education Minister Priya Manikchand, and Opposition Leader David Granger, was treated to a delightful cultural presentation by students. Head teacher Jackie Ben said the institution has always been committed to maintaining high academic standards, its cultural tradition, and actively raising the quality of life for every student.
Our mission here is to provide equal access to quality education, regardless of socio-economic status of our students.
President Donald Ramotar, who delivered the feature address, congratulated the students, who he said have all kept the flag of the distinguished institution flying high. According to him, the institution has been able to produce some of the greatest minds in almost every sector within the country.
In my cabinet, I think I can count at least 9 persons who have passed through this institution. And without doubt, the students of Queen's College have made a tremendous contribution to the development of Guyana. And I will also agree with those who say that it will contend with any secondary institution in the world for producing graduates and producing people of high caliber, as Queen's College has done.
The head of state said he would like to see Queen's College being replicated all across the country, pointing out that government, through the Education Ministry, is currently working to ensure that the high-quality education offered at the institution be associated with every secondary school in Ghana. For the Evening News, Alexis Rodney.
Thanks, Alexis. Draped in a gown designed by Randy Madry, Miss Palm Court Nikita Barker was on Sunday evening crowned Miss Ghana Universe 2014 when the pageant was hosted at the Pegasus Hotel. Bisham Mohammed was there and he filed this report.
24-year-old Nikita Barker, who is 2 years away from attaining her degree in medicine and surgery from the University of Guyana, outshone 8 other delegates to cup the coveted title to the delight of her many fans who were present. Barker also cupped the prize for Best Smile and winner of the Intelligence segment that was aired on national television prior to competition night. Even News caught up with the new queen, who was elated to have won the pageant. She shared her expectations ahead of the international pageant slated for January 24 in Miami, Florida.
Honestly, it hasn't sunk in as yet. I feel like I'm still dreaming. This is so unbelievable. I can't believe that all my hard work has finally paid off. I plan on doing my utmost best to prepare for the international competition. When I get there, I hope that I have a great team that I'm to work with, and that when I go to the US, that I would make a great impact and probably put Guyana on the international map.
Taking the second runners-up spot was reigning Miss Jam Zone International, Sohini Fraser, who disappeared moments after the announcement. Coming in as second runners-up was 25-year-old Akita McFoy from the mining town of Linden. Despite not being in the top 3, Jyoti Hardat was a judge delegate with the best body, while Cardella Hamilton and Rochelle Chetty shared the Miss Congeniality title. The highlight of the evening, however, was the swimwear segment, which saw the delegates sporting 2-piece swimwear designed by Pat Coates. The evening also saw 2013 Queen Katrina Roshana taking her final walk on stage as she recapped her 1-year reign. Meanwhile, the packed-to-capacity Pegasus poolside was entertained by Trinidadian soca sensation Keys. Bisham Mohammed, The Evening News.
Join us after these messages for your regional and international news. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with the evening news. It's now time for a look at your regional and international news. Haiti on Sunday announced the postponement of the much-delayed legislative and municipal elections. The polls were due to have taken place on Sunday, but a statement from the office of the president gave no indication when the polls would take place. This has resulted in growing tensions and conflict within the country as the opposition political parties accuse the government of railroading democracy. Now, internationally, Iraqi officials say at least 24 people have been killed and dozens hurt by a suicide bomber driving a Humvee at a checkpoint in the south of Baghdad. The checkpoint near the town of Juf al-Sakar was manned by Iraqi security forces and Shia military men. The attackers are believed to be militants from the Islamic State who lost control of the town to the government-led forces over the weekend. Iraqi security forces have been trying to retake the territory from the militants. It's now time for a look at your Perch report. The Demerara Harbour Bridge is expected to be closed from 8 hours 30 on Tuesday, October 28 for a period of 1.5 hours. The Berbice River Bridge is expected to be closed at 6 hours 45 on Tuesday, October 28 for a period of 1.5 hours. Your sports news is next. Stay with us.
Are you looking for a very good used Caterpillar machine at the price you want to pay? Come to our Providence East Bank Demerara Equipment Yard to inspect the machines for sale by tender from October 1st to 31st, 2014. See press or visit us on maccorpcat.com for more info.
Every day presents a few more challenges. Keeping your business running shouldn't be one of them. That's why we work every day towards ensuring your overall satisfaction. With over 100 skilled technicians and engineers equipped with the tools and skills to help you do more. With the largest parts inventory in Guyana, over 10,000 line items readily available. Driven by your success is not just a set of words to us. It is a code by which we live. That is why we are proud to say that we are Perch.
Welcome back. You're tuned to the evening news. Together, let's take a look at your sport headlines tonight. Heinz wins breast cancer cycle race. 5 Caribbean players signed up for South Africa's domestic T20 competition. Cleveland Ford wins another 10K title and stayed to appeal Oscar Pistorius' verdict. The news comes to you with a kind compliment of MacCorp.
Every day presents a few more challenges. Keeping your business running shouldn't be one of them. That's why we work every day towards ensuring your overall satisfaction. With over 100 skilled technicians and engineers equipped with the tools and skills to help you do more. With the largest parts inventory in Guyana, over 10,000 line items readily available. Driven by your success is not just a set of words to us. It is a code by which we live. That is why we are proud to say that we are Perch.
Are you looking for a very good used Caterpillar machine at the price you want to pay? Come to our Providence East Bank Demerara Equipment Yard to inspect the machines for sale by tender from October 1st to 31st, 2014. See press or visit us on maccorpcat.com for more info.
Welcome back. It's time for a look at your sport news in detail. Linden's Orville Hines rode a well-calculated race to win the 3rd annual Digicel-sponsored breast cancer awareness cycle road race on Sunday. Tristan Joseph reports.
Hines pulled away from the pack to comfortably win the event in the final 5 miles, crossing the finish line in 2 hours, 39 minutes and 29 seconds for the win. Paul Norberger finished in second, while Robin Passard was third. Andrew Greaves finished 4th ahead of Jabron Crawford for 5th and Marlon Williams 6th. Hines did not play around, breaking away from the pack as early as the Abari Bridge. While a few other cyclists challenged Hines after the initial breakaway at the Abari Bridge, the Londoner kept with his pace before eventually pulling away for the win that also won him all 3 primes. Meanwhile, Hansina Barat successfully defended her title, finishing in 1 hour 28 minutes and 15 seconds to finish ahead of Marcia Dick. Andrew Greaves won the junior category while Romalo Crawford won the juveniles. Stephen Fernandes was the winner of the veterans category.
Thanks, Tristan. For the 3rd time in 4 seasons, Chris Gayle has been linked to South Africa's domestic T20 competition, but this time it seems he may actually play in the event. Gayle signed for the Dolphins for the 2011, 2012 and 2013-2014 period, but injury kept him out of the event. This time he will be attached to the Lions and will be one of the 6 international signings for a competition that is searching for a higher profile. Gayle is set to join Dwayne Bravo, Kieran Pollard, Darren Sammy, Andre Russell and Craig Kiswester as the headline players for the event. Cleveland Ford waited until he passed his training ground at base camp in Ghana before making his move that eventually won him another South American title on Sunday that finished inside of the national park. Tristan Joseph reports.
Ford, also known as Guyana's Little Kenyan, was a tactical genius as he produced the fastest 10K time of 32 minutes 27.39 seconds in Guyana this year. Trinidad's Richard Jones clocked 32 minutes 39.21 seconds per second, while Cleveland Thomas was 3rd with a time of 32 minutes 56.25 seconds. At the turning point around Turkine, the race broke down to just 5 athletes, while Kelvin Johnson led the way, followed by Thomas, Nathaniel Giddings, Jones and Ford. With both Giddings and Johnson fading at the Russian embassy, Jones took over the lead for a short period before Ford made his move just in front of the Guyana Defence Force ground, never looking back. Meanwhile, on the distaff side, Trinidad's Tonya Nero led from start to finish, winning the event in 37 minutes, 35.46 seconds, while finishing ahead of American-based Guyanese Yulene Josiah Tanner, who clocked 39 minutes, 39.18 seconds for second. Alika Morgan was 3rd in a time of 40 minutes, 5.39 seconds. The junior male category was won by Matthew McKenzie, who clocked 35 minutes, 29.68 seconds. The junior females by Maria McKenzie in 43 minutes, 13.96 seconds. The female masters by Alicia Fortune in a time of 50 minutes, 16.28 seconds. And the men masters 40 to 55 age category by Ian Archibald in 37 minutes, 12.86 seconds. At the presentation ceremony held immediately after the race, the athletes received their trophies and prizes and were congratulated by the president of the Athletics Association of Guyana, Aubrey Hudson.
Thanks, Tristan. South African prosecutors have confirmed that they will appeal against the verdict and sentence given to Oscar Pistorius. The prosecutors will appeal against the culpable homicide conviction and 5-year jail sentence handed down last week on the Olympic and Paralympic track star. Pistorius started serving his prison sentence on October 21 after he was acquitted of murder and found guilty of a lesser charge of culpable homicide, known in the UK as manslaughter, for shooting his girlfriend through a toilet door in his home on Valentine's Day last year. Under the current terms, the Olympic runner is eligible for release after 10 months and would then complete his sentence under house arrest. The prosecution team will now lodge their appeal with the trial judge, Tiko Kozili Masipa. They will argue that she was wrong to find Pistorius not guilty of murder, but if that is rejected, they will argue that the 5-year sentence was too lenient. And that has brought us to the end of the evening news for today, Monday, October 27, 2014. Please remember to get a copy of tomorrow's edition of the Guyana Times, the details of these stories and others. I'm Michael Young, thanking you very much for joining us.